Hello my people, welcome to another tutorial. My name is Agnes. In today's tutorial I will show you how to recreate this very light cardigan, and today's tutorial is brought to you by Squarespace. Squarespace is the all-in-one website platform for entrepreneurs to succeed online. So if you are just starting out or growing a brand and you would like to create a beautiful website to sell your products, then Squarespace is the platform for you. This cardigan is easy to create. It's just two panels joined together. It's with lightweight yarn. This is size 2 spot yarn, and the stitch is also very light. It's meshy, and I have a written pattern available. You can check the details in my description box and comment section pinned for the link. And I am going to show you exactly how I did it, and you can create it in your own size, in your own length. I'll be giving you some of the measurements and I will be telling you all the details in the tutorial. For this tutorial, I'm using durable comfy yarn. This is from Durable Yarns, and it is 100 grams each skein, 266 meters. I used 5 skeins for my extra small size that I will be making. And it is 100% microfiber acrylic. It is spot yarn, and it is a size 2 yarn. So you can get this yarn on my front shop. I will leave the link in the description box as well as in the comment section. It's color honey. It recommends 3 to 4 millimeter hook, and I'll be using a 4 millimeter hook for this. So if you're interested in the yarn, we are delivering to the US too, so just check the details in my comment section, pinned comment and description box, and you can order different colors of this yarn. I'll be using a 4.0 millimeter hook. So we are creating something, airy, something light, so that's why I'm using that. You need tape measure and scissors. So it's made of 2 panels, and once we have the 2 panels, they're very identical, then we join them to make the cardigan. It's easy as that. So we are going to start with the first panel, and we are starting with the wrist area here, working the sleeve as it increases, because it starts small and then increases, and we have the X stitch, which is 3 rows, and then we have a double crochet row like that. It's just 4 rows. Okay, so it increases, and then once we are done with that, then we do the bigger part. So we start with this part. We increase every 4th row, and then we begin again 3 rows. All right, then we increase like that. All right, so I haven't done this kind of sleeve before, so I wanted to try it out, and I think it turned out well. So let's do the sleeve, and once we are done with that, then we'll add this other part for the front panel and the back panel all work together. So for the sleeve, you're going to take your measurements, and we are going to start from our wrist. So you're going to take your tape measure and measure around your wrist, and to what you have, mine is 5 inches, then you're going to add 2 inches to that for give it some allowance so that it's not very tight. So I will add 2 inches to 5, and that will be a 7. You don't even have to measure. You can just give that kind of allowance, chain and give that kind of allowance and see. Okay, so you will take these notes because we need this for the other panel, exact same. So it is your wrist measurements. This is where we are starting. Okay, we are starting our work from the wrist. So wrist measurements, mine is 5 inches. I don't know how much yours is. I have a very small wrist. Plus 2 inches, then I'll make 7. So yours could be, I don't know, 6 inches plus 2, that is 8. It could be, I don't know, 8. So just take your wrist measurements and add 2 inches to that. So it could be 8 plus 2, it could be 7 plus 2, depends on how big your wrist is. And that's where we are starting. All right, so we are starting down here, and then we work all the way up. So foundation chain is going to be a multiple of 2. Okay, that's like 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. Okay, so you're going to make a foundation chain that is equivalent to your measurements that you have noted down. All right, and it should be a multiple of 2. Then I'll meet you. Okay, so this is what I have, and this is my 7 inches. So to that we are going to add 2 chains, and those 2 chains will be as the turning chain. Okay, so I have my even number of stitches, multiple of 2, then plus 2 chains. That's 1, and that is 2. All right, that's a turning chain. Then you're going to yarn over and skip these 2 chains that we added, and into the 3rd chain you are going to make a double crochet. So our first row is double crochet. So I'm going to just go into every stitch with a double crochet. And the chain 2 does not count as a stitch, so this is my 3rd double crochet, and I will go all the way, and you should have the same number of chains that you started with. So if you started with 30 chains, then you should have 30 stitches. Okay, so I'll go all the way to the end. I'm at the end of my first row, and this is how it looks. I have about my 7 inches, and now we are going to start working on a row of the cross stitch. So we have a double crochet row, and then 2 rows of the cross stitch, and then we increase. So this is our first row of the cross stitch, and you're going to chain 2, and then you're going to turn your work, and for every row of the cross stitch we will always begin with a double crochet. So chain 2 does not count as a stitch, so I am going to work my first double crochet right here in this very first stitch. So you have 1 double crochet. All right, now we work on the X stitch. You yarn over only twice. I made a mistake there. So you skip the first stitch and then go into the 2nd stitch and make a double crochet. So skip stitch 1, go into stitch 2 and make a double crochet, and then you're going to go back to the stitch that you skipped right here and make a double crochet. That is how you work the X. All right, so we worked in these 2 stitches. Now we need to make another X stitch, so you're going to skip this stitch and work into the next one. Skip 1 into the 2nd one, make a double crochet, and then just go back and work a double crochet in that stitch that you skipped. Okay, so it's just simple as that. And then now in the next 2 stitches, so you skip 1 in the 2nd one, you work a double crochet, and then go backwards in the one that you skipped and work your 2nd double crochet. Then skip 1 in the next one, work a double crochet, and then once you have that, then go backwards to the one that you skipped and work a double crochet. All right, so are you interested in selling your products and services online? It could be physical goods, it could be digital content like written patterns, or even services. Squarespace has the tools you need to start selling online. Start with like a professionally designed Squarespace template. They have options for every use and every category. You can customize your look, update content, features for what you need, transform your template into your own, and stand out online and on every device. With the integrated optimized SEO tools, you can easily launch your website and get discovered fast, so you show up more and to more people and grow just the way you want. As an entrepreneur, all you want is like a seamless checkout for your customers. So Squarespace offers flexible payments, accept credit cards, PayPal, and Apple Pay. And in some eligible countries, you can offer your customers the option to buy now and pay later with Afterpay and ClearPay. So if you are interested in taking your business to the next level, then head over to squarespace.com/scrochets to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain. Thank you so much, Squarespace, for sponsoring this video. You are going to just keep doing this until you get to the end of the row, and when you get to the end of the row, you will have 1 stitch left. Okay, so when you do your last X, you'll have 1 stitch left, and I'll meet you there. So I'm coming to the end and I have one stitch left here, and we'll work only a double crochet in that stitch, one double crochet. So as you can see, we start the row of the X stitch with a double crochet and end it with a double crochet, and in between we have the X stitches. That is if you had an even number of stitches, like if you had, you know, multiples of 2 or an even number. Okay, so starts with a double crochet, ends with a double crochet, in between is X stitches. So we are just going to repeat this for the next row, which is our third row. So you're going to chain 2, turn your work, and in that very first stitch you're going to work a double crochet, right? So the chain 2 does not count as a stitch. And now you're going to work X stitch all the way to the end. So skip 1, in the next work a double crochet, and then go back into the one that you skipped, and then work your second double crochet. Skip 1, double crochet, go back, double crochet, skip 1, double crochet, go back, double crochet. So this is going to be the pattern until you get to the end, and once we are at the end, then we have one stitch left where we'll work our double crochet. Okay, so I'll see you at the end, and then we'll start on the increase row. Okay, so 1 double crochet row, 2 X stitch rows, and 1 increase row. That's our pattern. So I'm coming to the end, and this is going to be my last X. And once I have that, then this last stitch right here is where I work my last double crochet. All right, so these 2 stitches are alike, and now we need to do an increase stitch. So we have double crochet, X stitch, and then increase row. Okay, then we repeat that over and over again. So now for the increase row, it's just simple. We're increasing at the beginning and at the end. So chain 2, turn your work, and in this very first stitch, X stitch, we always do a double crochet first. So you take care of that first, make a double crochet. And now we need to make an increase. So an increase, we are just going to go into that very same stitch and make our second double crochet like that. So it's 2 double crochets in that very first stitch. That is our increase. And now you work your X stitch just like before. So skip 1, double crochet, go back to the one that you skipped and work a double crochet in there. Skip 1, double crochet, go back, double crochet, and then you're going to do this all the way to the end. And in our last stitch where we do 1 double crochet, we'll just make 2 double crochets in there at the end. So I'll see you at the end so that we can do that. All right, so we made an increase at the beginning, we will make an increase at the end too. I'll see you here. All right, so we are at the end, made our last stitch, X stitch, and in this very last stitch here, I am going to make 2 double crochets. Instead of 1, we make 2. Okay, so those are our 4 rows, and this is going to be the repeat for the sleeve. So it's going to be 2 rows of X stitch, and then increase, and then we start again with a double crochet row. Okay, so double crochet, X, increase, then double crochet. Okay, then X, increase, double crochet. All right, so this is going to be just a repeat. I did the double crochet row just to break the monotony of the pattern. You know, you can do away with a double crochet row and, you know, just do X, but I thought, you know, just break the monotony. So chain 2, and now we're going to do the double crochet row. So chain 2, and we are going to work a double crochet in every stitch. So just make a double crochet in this first stitch, and now you're going to go into every stitch with a double crochet. Just 1 double crochet in every stitch. So do that, and I'll see you at the end of the row. So I am coming to the end, and this is my second last stitch, and this is my last stitch. So done with the double crochet row, and now next is 2 X stitch rows before the increase row. So now it's the X stitch row, and just like we did row 2, you're just going to chain 2 in that very first stitch, make a double crochet, and now do the X. So skip 1 into the next double crochet, go backwards, make an X, skip 1 in the second one, make a double crochet, go back to the one you skipped and double crochet. And this is just going to be the pattern. So you're going to be repeating rows 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, like that. Please remember the increase row is right before the double crochet row. So it's double crochet row, X stitch, increase, then double crochet row, like that. 1 2 3 4. This third one is where you increase. I mean the fourth one. You increase every fourth row. All right, so you're going to do this until you have your measurements. That's from your wrist area to your underarm. You can measure that, or you can work and measure it on yourself like this. I just worked this and kept, measuring myself, and now it is right under my underarm, and that's how long it's going to be. And then now I need to work on the bigger part. So do the same, and once you have your sleeve, then we work on the bigger part of the front panel and back panel. And just to show you the measurements of my sleeve, it is, let's see, 19 inches long. So it's 19 inches long. Yours will be longer because I'm quite short. I'm like 5'1", and here is about 12 inches wide, because I started with about 7, but it kept increasing, so it's about 12. All right, so now we need to make this part of the cardigan, and it's more like the back panel to work together with the front panel. So this is where I am. My last row is the double crochet row, so I will make a long chain. We are going to fold our sleeve like this, and we're going to measure from the top, this top of our shoulder, all the way down to where you want your cardigan to reach. So this you will determine for yourself how much you want your cardigan, how long you want your cardigan to be, and then you're going to make enough long chain that is equivalent to the length of your cardigan. All right, so the chain should be an odd number. Okay, we started with an even number. This should be an odd number. So I chained 19 inches, but this increases, so leave some 3-4 inches for expansion, because this will increase. For me it's 19, it ended up being about 22, so keep that in mind. Okay, so once you have your number, mine is an odd number and I have 79 chains. So I am going to chain 2 chains for the turning chain, because now I want to work back. Okay, so note that number down, because we are going to chain it on the other side too. So mine was 79 chains, and I need 2 chains for the turning chain on this other part where I am. Okay, so keep that number, because you'll need these numbers also for the second panel, because we are working exactly the same thing and you don't want to be counting stitches all over again. So I added 2 chains for the turning chain, and since my last row was a double crochet row, now I'm going to start on the X stitch row. So the first 2 chains, I skip them, and then into the third chain I work 1 double crochet, because we always start the rows with a double crochet, and then I skip the first stitch and make a double crochet, then go backwards and make my second double crochet, then skip 1 double crochet and backwards to complete that X, And this is going to be the row, but I need a chain on the other side because I also need to work. Let's say this was the back panel, the front panel, everything is being worked together, so I need to make a chain on the other side so that I'm able to work on that chain as I go. So double crochet row, that's why I'm working the X stitch first. Okay, so I am going to chain. I don't want to cut my yarn, so I'm just going to take another ball of yarn, since I will use it anyway on the other panel or whichever. I'm going to take a new ball of yarn, and then I'm going to chain 79 chains, same chains as I chained on this other side. So I take my hook, okay, 79 chains is what I'm going to chain. I don't add 2 turning chains because I'm not turning on that side. Okay, so I'll only chain my 79, same as you chain an odd number. Okay, I don't know how many chains you'll have. It could be a shorter version, 61, I don't know, 75, it could be 99. I don't know how long your cardigan is. So I'm going to chain mine, which is 79 chains. Okay, so I have 79 chains, but I chained much more than 79 because I was tired of counting, and I will cut off the excess chain. So you can do the same. I will show you how I do that. So I made a very long chain, longer than the one I had on the other side, and now I'm going to attach it on this other side of the sleeve right here in that very first stitch. Let me try to zoom in so that you can see. So in this very first stitch here is where I'm going to attach my long chain. Okay, like this, and then chain 1 and cut off the yarn. Okay, so you're going to leave a tail for sewing in the yarn later. So cut this off, and now I have this chain on this other side, so both sides have the chain. So I'm working here all the way like this, across here and over this chain all the way to the end, and I'll work the same number of stitches I have on the other side also on this side of the chain. And once I have those same number of stitches, then I'll just cut off the excess chain. Okay, because I was tired of counting. This is the easier way for me, then I don't have less chains or more chains, you know, at the end of the day. So I worked this X stitch on my first side of the chain, and I'm going to work all the way across now this sleeve. So once I get here, it's just business as usual. I'm working the X stitch on top of these double crochets. Like this. And I know the number of X's that I have on this side, which is now on my right. So I'll work the same number of those X's on the other side. Okay. So I am done with where my sleeve is, and I'm going to work my last X stitch here before I get onto the chain on the other side. All right, so now I will work my, this is where I reattached my chain. So now I'm going to skip one chain and then work those X's. So the same number of X's I had on the left, on the right side are the same number of X stitches I will work on the left side. And once I have that same number, then I'm going to come and cut off that excess yarn. So I will show you how I do that. So this is how it looks so far. I work those X stitches and then come so that we can work on the second row. From here it's easy. Count your number of stitches here. It's the same number of stitches you'll work here, and then we cut off. So I did my stitches, and these are my X stitches. So now I need to do my last stitch, which is a double crochet stitch. We always end the row with a double crochet. Okay, so I work my row, my stitch, which is a double crochet stitch, right? And now I get my scissors and I'm going to count about 3 stitches from where my last stitch is, and in that third stitch, cut, like literally, and then just pull. This is my yarn, and just pull it like this, and that's it. And secure like that. So it saves you a lot of miscalculation. You know, you work all this and you get to the end, you find you have less stitches. This saves you all that trouble. All right, so now the next row is another row of X stitch. From here on, there's no increase. Okay, we are working our work straight, no increases anymore. So you'll just work 3 rows of X stitch and 1 row of double crochet. So same number of rows on same number of stitches on every row. All right, so you are going to chain 2 for our next row. So we chain 2. Oh, my work my work got undone, so that's my last double crochet. So next row is you're going to chain 2 and then turn your work, and first stitch is always a double crochet. Okay, so first stitch is a double crochet, and then now you're going to work an X stitch in every stitch, literally in every previous X stitch, I think. So work an X stitch, and you're going to do this until you get to the end. Once you get to the end, you have that 1 double crochet at the end, and yeah, from here the pattern repeats. So it's 3 X stitches, X stitch rows, and then 1 double crochet row. No more increases. Do not increase, do not increase. Okay, it is now, you know, straight. So just go all the way to this side, and once you get to the end, you end with a double crochet, then you chain 3, and then you start on your next row without increasing. Okay, no more increases, it's just going to go straight. And we are going to do this for my extra small. I'm going to do this for 9 until I have 9 inches, and for the rest of the sizes I'm going to give you the measurements. So everything is straight. Repeat of 4 rows, and that's it. Okay, until you have the measurements that we need. And these are the measurements. Check the chart and I'll meet you once I have mine. So for me it's going to be 9 inches. Okay, for the rest, look at the chart and see your size, and that's what you're going to make. All right, so I have my 9 inches, as you can see. And basically we are done with the first panel. So we need to recreate this whole thing over again. Same exact number of inches and same number of stitches. And I'll meet you once you have the 2. Like me, because I already have 2. And then we can just join them. You know, it's just easy like that. 2 panels and you join and you have a sweater. So these are my 2 panels, as you can see. And now you are going to count all the stitches on this panel and then find the middle stitch. So divide by 2 and find the middle stitch, and then you're going to put a stitch mark there. And then you're going to do the same for the other panel. Put a stitch marker in the middle. Okay, so once you have your stitch markers like I do, right, this is the middle of our panels. So this is, we are just going to join one side, which will be our back, and then the open side will be our front. Okay, so I lay them like this, and I'm going to use a darning needle to join, and I'll be using the mattress stitch to join. So you can join using your favorite stitch. I'll be using the mattress stitch to join, which means I'm inserting my, I left on my second panel, left a very long tail, Okay, so I'm inserting from the inside going outside. So I start my needle from the inside going outside, and then I go to the other side of another panel from the inside going outside. So to secure that, I will go in twice in that very first stitch. So it's like in, out, okay, on this side from the inside out. Then I got the other side, inside, out, the other side, inside, out. So I'm doing this for every stitch, in, out, on the other side, in, out, in, out, in, out. I hate sewing things together because it takes so long. Sometimes I prefer to just use a slip stitch with my hook, but then for this it will be obvious. You will be able to see it because it's at the back, but when you use the needle and this stitch of sewing, then you don't see anything. So just have to be patient for this. So just pull, but don't pull so hard because then yeah, I don't know, don't tighten it so much. Just pull with enough tension that it stays straight, and you're going to do that all the way up until you are where you have your stitch markers, and that's where you stop. Okay, so all the way up to where we have our stitch markers, and then we are done, and then I'll meet you so that we can do the final single crochet row at the bottom. Oh, and we need to join the sides too. So we are going to be joining the sides, I think, using the same stitch. So this is how mine looks. I joined the back. You cannot see where I joined it. And now we need to join the sides. The open place is the front, so don't join that. So this is how it looks. And now we are going to join from the bottom all the way up to the underarm and all the way along the sleeve. But I joined this on the wrong side, okay, because some stitches here are not clear, so I joined it on the wrong side, and I didn't use the mattress stitch around the arm. I just, sewed it together like how you'd sew something. All right, so once I was done, this is how it looks. All right, so this is my wrong side. I did the sewing on the wrong side, and now we are going to work a row of single crochets all around the bottom and the front of the cardigan. Okay, all around here we are going to work single crochets, and all around the front of the cardigan. This is just to clean it, to make it look clean. Okay, so you are going to get your yarn, and we are going to reattach it at the very bottom of one corner. We are working on the right side. So I reattach my yarn here in the corner on the right side, and then I'm going to chain one, and in that very first stitch I'll work a single crochet. So this is how we are going to work. So where we have the double crochet stitches, we are going to work 2 stitches in the double crochet, and then at the end of that, at the top of that double crochet, another stitch. So those are 3 stitches in one row. So in this row where we have the chain 2 stitch, then I'm only going to work 1 single crochet in that chain 2 stitch, and then a single crochet at the top of the stitch right there. All right, so in these 2 rows I have 5 single crochets. Okay, 2 rows, 5 single crochets. So here where I have this double crochet, in this double crochet row I'm working 2 single crochets in there, and then at the top of that double crochet I'm working 1 single crochet. So that are 3 single crochets, and this stitch here where I have this chain 2, I'm working only 1 stitch in there, and at the top of the stitch here I'm working 1 single crochet, so that's 5 single crochets in that next 2 rows. So 5 single crochets in every 2 rows, and then you're going to go all along the bottom. Okay, and I'm just going to meet you on the other side so that we can do the front. So just look where I'm placing my stitches and do the same. So I went all around at the bottom. I'm here, and now I want to work single crochets all the way across and then here. So this is easy, just 1 single crochet in every stitch and you're good all around the front. And once you're done, then just sew in your ends, and it should look like this, very clean already. And that's it, that's our sweater. So I hope you like it. If you do, please let me know in the comment section, share this video, and if you want to buy the written pattern, then check in my comment section and description box for the link to the pattern on Etsy and on yarnsy.com, as well as the yarn is available on my yarn front shop or yarn shop front, I don't know, whichever. I will leave the link below. You can buy this yarn in any color and we ship to the US too. So yeah, I'll see you in the next tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. You can tag me in your finished products. So I would like to see what you make and what colors you make this in. It's accrochets on all platforms. So see you in the next one. Bye.